yesterday. If the Celtics won by 12 or more, they'd go on to make history and win this series overall. Are you going to stick with that prediction now?
I absolutely am. The last two games, they've been dominant. And they go on the road and they blow them out. And in Miami, they come home. And what's happening, Skip, is that Miami is starting to shoot the three ball like they did in the regular season. They're not playing above their head as far as shooting the basketball. And so now they've come back to who they actually are. And the Celtics are player for player are a better team. Their two best players are better. I believe their role players are better. So when you factor that in, they forced the Heat into 16 turnovers, led to 27 points, had four players. The first time, they had four players all over 21 points. So when you can get production like that, they take care of the basketball. They forced Miami, what Miami was doing to the Celtics, forcing them to turn the ball and creating points. Boston flipped the script, forced them into turnovers, created points off that. I just think the thing is, Skip, they got them right where they want them. They do. And they keep saying it. Don't let us win. Don't let us get another game. They started that march with 0-3. They get one. They better not let us get another one. So they're going to keep that going, Skip. I think your Heat are in trouble. Jimmy Butler is struggling. What do you have? 14 points last night, 5 of 10. The other night, what was he? 9 of 21. He was real inefficient. They're doing a great job on him. And because the other guys are not playing so far above their head like they did in the first three games, they kind of come back to the pack. Boston has sized them up, seized the moment. I like it going 3-3 on Saturday and then coming back Monday and close this thing out.
I picked it in 6. You laughed at me when I said the Heat in 6 because you couldn't fathom it would go beyond 4.
No, I thought they'd win a game. I did think they'd win one game.
Gentleman's sweep, said Shannon Sharpe. I said Heat in 6. I am standing by Heat in 6. I love Heat in 6 because it sets up perfectly for the Heat to ride the roller coaster that is driven by the Boston Celtics. I'm going to say this again. Something has been missing from your Boston Celtics all year long. It will manifest itself once again in Game 6 back in Miami.
You better hope so.
Just when you least expect it, you have a game from the Boston Celtics. It's happened all season long. I'm going to say it again. They lost 3 times to Orlando, twice in Boston to Orlando. Going into last night, they had lost 5 of 9 home playoff games. I give them last night, but I gave them last night yesterday. I first guessed yesterday. I said they'd win by 20, and most of the game they were ahead by right around 20 points. And at the end, it got a little closer and went all the way to 13. I thought, oh, my God, are you going to flip your pick because it gets to 12?
No, because we see that they had a big lead. No, we were good.
Okay. The Celtics are front runners. The Celtics live and die by the three-point shot, and they were falling from unexpected sources such as my guy from the San Antonio Spurs, Derek White. What did he do last night? He made 6 of 8 threes. He made 3 threes in the first quarter. And I'm about to show you why this game was over almost before it started. Because I give your Celtics this. They carried the momentum from Game 4 right into a home Game 5, and they came out and played far more desperate basketball than the visiting team played last night. The visiting team did not show up last night. The Celtics showed some serious green Celtic pride last night and said, watch this, this is who we can be. And then it felt like after the game that they had won the championship. It felt like they had decided, we just made history. We are just about to win 4 straight games because it felt like they won all 4 in a row just last night. That was the feeling in the arena and in the locker room and all the post-game interviews. Okay, so this game was highly misleading because, number one, Gabe Vincent did not play. I was not shocked he did not play because you and I both looked at that ankle turn in Game 4, and it didn't look great.
Correct.
But they said, according to Allie LaForce on TNT, that her stand-up report right at the start of the game was they said they were holding him out for sort of precautionary reasons, like he could have played if he'd had to, but obviously they have a little bit of rope to play with here. So all the indications are that he will go in Game 6. I don't know exactly what's going on with his ankle, but I'm just going to think that he's going to go and be pretty to very good in Game 6. All Gabe Vincent had done through the first 4 games was make 11 of 22 threes. All he had done was turn Shannon Sharpe into a believer, because you told me a couple times, every time he went up into a three-point shot, you were like, that's good.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, the game 2 or game 3, he had a 29
3. He had 29 points in game 3. He is their fire starter. He is their initiator. Their best player by far is Jimmy Butler. I'll get to him in just a moment. But they missed Gabe Vincent handling the basketball, bringing the basketball up, playing some point guard, even though Jimmy is obviously the sort of point forward of the orchestrator of the team. But without him, they had to shift Kyle Lowry up into a role that he's no longer capable of fulfilling, and that's to be the starting point guard.
Okay.
He's 37 years of age. He's battered. He's beat up. He's close to broken. He's got this going on, that going on. Last night, he's holding on to his ring finger on his shooting hand. I don't know what that was about. But the point was, the game was actually over before it even started, because on the very first play of the game, they win the tip, the Miami Heat, and they go down, and they have 2 really good players. One, Jimmy Butler, he's number 1, and sort of 1A is Bam Adebayo. And can we see what Bam did on the very first offensive possession of the game? Bam, no, Mark Smart just picks his pocket, and off to the races they go. And guess what? Jason Tatum's off to his races, and it's 2-0. It might as well have been 200-0 at that point, because the ceiling was about to fall in on the visiting team, because Shannon Sharpe, in the first quarter, they managed to turn it over 6 times. So now I will show you the next 5 turnovers, all in the first quarter from the Miami Heat. This is not Miami Heat basketball that I knew and loved. I don't know what that was. That looked like Westbrook. And then Bam is trapped, and he stepped out of bounds. And then here goes Kyle Lowry. What was that? That's
Bam and Kyle Lowry had 10 of their 16.
I got it. And then whoops. And then whoops. And then what? And then there we go with Cody Zeller. And he loses it, and that's another one. And so I'm looking at my breakdown here of this. These are called live ball turnovers, where all of a sudden you lose the ball and they get the ball and there's no whistle, right? And the ball's just going and going and going to the other end. And all of a sudden I'm looking at the Bam travel. Jaylen Brown hit a 3, and I'm looking at that second Kyle Lowry bad pass, and Marcus Smart hits a 3 right after that. I'm looking at the Bam steps out of bounds, and all of a sudden Derek White hits yet another 3. And then the Cody Zeller. At that point, they're down 14, and then they end the first quarter 35-20. Down 15, over, ball game. Might as well not even play the rest of the night. Is that Miami Heat basketball? I ask you. No. And yet, here we go again with this three-point shooting. The Celtics, way more than the Heat, live and die with the three-point shot.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right? And so I look at the game, Shannon. Look at what the Celtics in the first 3 games. Here are those 3 losses. They go Celtics from 3, 34.5% in game 1. Game 2 is 28.6%. Game 3, which was just a nightmare, 26.2%. And then, boom, they flip the script and they go 40.0%. And you know what the stat is? They're 38-2, 40+%. And then last night, 41. So they go 40 and 41% in their 2 turnarounds. Can they go back to Miami and shoot 42%? I say no way. Which brings me to your best player, the guy that you love. I thought maybe you'd come out here in that Jason Tatum.
No.
You saving it for Monday?
No, it was Derek White. I should have came out here with a headband.
Okay, well, should you?
Yeah.
Did you think about it?
Yeah.
Well, at least the Spurs got something going for him, because he at least was a Spur, right?
But I had to get a haircut. My haircut had to start at the 50-yard line to get like Derek White.
Okay, well, but that's a fact. Now you're taking a shot.
You talking about that's a fact.
That is a fact. I give you fact. Okay, there was one key sort of under the radar stat here.
Okay.
I'm looking at my box score says that Jason Tatum was 1 of 6 from 3. So they shot 41%, 16 of 39. Way to go, Boston. Wait, 1 of 6 from 3? Huh. I'm looking at Jason Tatum in this series so far. He's 10 of 35. That's 28.6%. Gee, that's not very good.
Yeah, he's definitely struggling from this.
By the way, just for the record, just for the scope of this, the last 4 regular seasons, Jason Tatum, first team All-NBA 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
The last 4 seasons, his three-point percentage through the regular season has fallen each of 4 times. It's sort of like Ezekiel Elliott-like, right, in yards per game. Okay, so it just falls. 4 straight years it fell all the way to just 35% this year. During the regular season, just for the record, would you believe that Jason Tatum, he attempted 686 three-point shots. That was second in the whole league to Klay Thompson. 686? Wow. So he went 240 of 686, 35%. Not great. Meanwhile, Jimmy Butler is the best player on the other team. He knows his limitations. He's like Clint Eastwood as Dirty Harry. Man's got to know his limitations. And Jimmy just says, I don't shoot threes because I'm not very good at shooting threes. Right. So last night he didn't he try? He tried 2 and he missed 2, but those were desperation threes. So what did Jimmy do during the regular season? He managed to shoot 103 attempted threes, 103. So would you believe that during the regular season, Jason Tatum shot 533 more threes than Jimmy Butler? So once again, I get back to Game 6. Are you sure that Jason Tatum's going to make 6 or 7 threes? Because he's going to have to if they're going to win this game. Maybe
not 6 or 7, but Skip, can he be better than 1 of 6? Let's start with that premise and just work our way back. Because can he be any worse? Can he shoot 28%? Is he going to shoot 28% again? At some point in time, Skip, he got to get a hot hand. Okay. He's too good of a player not to.
All right. Speaking of hot hands, you're going to laugh at this one, but I'm going to throw this out because I found last night very interesting. Okay. Most people probably turned it off except for Celtic Nation. Mm-hmm. But let's start with the key stat of the night was Miami's starters outscored, Boston starters outscored Miami starters 94-46. There was a flip to that stat. There was a backstory to that stat, and it was that Miami's bench outscored Boston's bench 53-15. Is that good? That's pretty great.
Well, I think the thing is why they did that, Skip, is that the starters were out. I mean, you go ahead and take, I mean, they did play for a while, but
it's just bench versus bench.
Here's the thing, Skip. Their starters played the entire fourth quarter. So they got numbers where Boston, because if you look at Boston, Jason Tatum still played 41 minutes. Yep. Derek White played 37 minutes. Marcus Smart played 30 minutes. Jaylen Brown played 37 minutes.
To that point, after the first quarter, guess who won the last 3 quarters of the game? Would you believe the Miami Heat won 77-75?
Yeah, but they did. Y'all out of gas, though. Y'all down 15.
Wait a second. I know one player is not out of gas.
Who?
His name is Haywood Highsmith.
Oh, man, stop it.
Would you believe that Haywood Highsmith against the Celtics this year has scored, last night he had 14, but he's also scored 16 and 15 against the Boston Celtics.
Oh, you want to put him in the starting lineup now?
He's a Celtic killer. I think you got to push the button. At least you got to play him higher minutes. He's 6 feet 7 inches tall out of some little school in West Virginia called Welling that I'd never heard of before, but he's another undrafted keeper, a product of Pat Riley's culture in Miami. And all he did last night was, you see your stat sheet, he made 5 out of 6 shots. He made all 3 of his threes. Well,
he made 6 out of 9, Skip.
What's that?
He made 6 out of 9.
I'm just looking at the second half.
Okay, second half. Because he played 36 minutes. Yeah, he played starters minutes.
I'm just doing the second half.
Okay, my bad.
Okay, so he was putting up quiet numbers. Yeah. And if they get Gabe Vincent back, and I don't know, Tyler Hero at some point, he's doing some basketball things. Maybe he'll play a few minutes here and there. I know he's got a broken right hand, but at least he's dribbling and shooting with his right hand before the game.
People chop. People try to slap the ball away.
They'll chop. I got all that.
You ready for that, Skip?
I am totally ready for what's about to happen because the Miami Heat, as Bam said after the game, he said, look, how can you say we've lost our confidence? Nobody believed in us from the start anyway. Right. Now they get to hear for 48 hours that they're dead in the water.
Yeah, they did.
They get to hear from Shannon Sharpe, we got you.
Roadkill.
Right? Okay. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about a Jaylen Brown quote a little later, but Jaylen Brown said in a TNT on-court interview, only team that can stop us is us. Mm-hmm. Well, that's just saying you ain't you know what, right? Yeah. It's all about us. And so we finally found us, says Jaylen Brown, and here we go, and we romp and stomp back in Miami for Game 6. Listen, you're dealing with a very proud culture in Miami.
Are they prouder than anything better than Celtic pride?
Yeah, they're prouder because these are still young Celtics who have accomplished nothing.
They're about to accomplish something now.
Okay, well, I love hearing you say that because The Miami Heat, just a few years back, that a lot of these same players did play LeBron and AD in the finals in the bubble. It was 3 years ago.
Y'all beat this Celtic team to get to there, to get to that point.
All right. So they've been playing this Celtic team every single year with a different head coach, right? It is time for them to, as you say, summons up their pride, their culture, because they are a better basketball team than the Celtics. They can play better basketball than the Celtics. And obviously, it starts and ends with Jimmy Butler. The last 2 games, he has not been playoff Jimmy. I'm not going to say he's been way off Jimmy, because last night he was just unplugged. He was disengaged. And you know and I know he has these weird Jimmy games.
He does.
Am I right?
Yeah, he does.
Where he just, you're like, what's going on? It's what's going on in the regular season. It's why he didn't make the All-Star team, but he did make second team All-NBA. It's because he paces himself. He plays chess with the game of basketball in ways nobody else does, because he just says, I pace myself.
Yeah, but Skip,
if we're up 3-0, I don't have to give my all in Game 4. I don't have to give every last ounce in Game 5, because in our hip pocket is Game 6 back in our place.
Yeah, but Skip, you see how Gabe Vincent stepped wrong and boo-boo ankle. You see Caleb Martin, his knee buckled a little bit when he stepped.
It looked scary.
You see,
it hyper-extended. It went backwards.
Yeah, I was like, damn.
But he went to the free throw line and shot the free throw.
So you see all these things, like when you prolong a series, all you do is subject or open yourself up to one of these things. Now, you know if something happened, and hopefully that doesn't happen to Jimmy, now you really in a bind. Okay. So I just think the thing is, Skip, is that you had 2 opportunities to kill this snake, and somehow you was like, well, I'm going to let him live another day.
Okay, they did. They did. I'll give you Game 4, because they're up 9 early in the third quarter, and at that point, Jimmy decides to miss 6 straight shots. Not that he decided, but he goes way off Jimmy. And they go on an 18-0 run, and it quickly, in over a 3-minute span, it goes from down 9 to up 9, and that was that. And you could, if you were right about what you're saying, we will all look back at that point, that was the flashpoint flip of the series, where Miami had it. They had the finals. They had the Denver Nuggets. Here they go. They were going to get whatever it is, 6 days off, 7 days off. And instead, this happened. Let me ask you this. Can you really see a Pat Riley culture team, an Eric Spoelstra coach team, going down in historical flames? Because I cannot. Listen, if Pat Riley has to suit up on tomorrow night, he'll suit up.
Well, you told me, how about LeBron James got shot up the court by a Pat Riley Heat coach of the Eric Spoelstra coach team? You told me how LeBron James got shot up the court by your San Antonio Spurs.
They did.
So it's possible.
Okay, well, it's possible, but that was Duncan, Parker, and Ginobili. That's fighting big fire with big fire.
Well, they got the law firm, Derek White making shots. Malcolm Brogdon, you know, he's struggling a little bit right now. He's really, really struggling. He only played 8 minutes, Skip.
Is Joe Mazzulla Greg Popovich?
Nah.
I think not.
He might. You never know. Popovich wasn't Popovich when he first started.
He wasn't until Tim Duncan fell out of the sky.
Exactly.
Okay. I give you that.
Well, they ain't got no Tim Duncan.
Okay. So I'm here to say your stat, 38-2 over 40%. They won't shoot 40%. They won't shoot 40% in Miami.
You mess around, they might shoot 50.
Gabe Vincent is shooting 50 so far in this series, and I believe he is highly capable of shooting 50 in Game 6.
They were very engaged defensively, Skip, and it started from the opening tip.
It did.
You see what happened? Bam got the ball, tried to come inside.
Yep. He picked his pocket.
Yeah, Marcus Smart.
Okay, so you are guaranteeing a victory in Game 6.
Yep.
Okay.
Sure as you can get.
Okay, I'm guaranteeing a Heat victory in Game 6.
You want to put a case on it? We already got a case on the series. We got a case on the series. You want to put another case on this game?
Yes. Okay. In fact, I put 2 cases on this.
You gonna put 2?
Yeah.
Saw him coming.
Okay.
Y'all saw it too, huh? Okay, yeah, I do it. See, I start out low, like, because you have to do 2 from the jump. You like, nah, let's do it. That's how I got you up.
Front running.
That's what we do.
Yeah,
that's what we do.
Yeah.
Why JT hit a couple of threes early?
Yeah, you're going to front run right into playoff Jimmy. That's what's going to happen.
Skip, I don't know, Skip.
Jimmy just matter-of-factly said last night after the game, we will close out. in Game 6.
Where did we hear that before? Didn't Desmond Bain say that same thing?
No, well,
then we're going to come back. We're going to win Game 5. We're going to go to L.A. and win Game 6. And we're going to come back to Memphis and win Game 7.
Let's see. Desmond Bain, Jimmy Butler, Desmond Bain. I think I'll go with Jimmy Butler.
I'm just saying. Say anything. Miles, say anything.
Yeah. Is Jimmy Butler not an historically great playoff player?
Yes.
Right?
But old JT money, put it in the bank.
Good old 1 for 6 from 3.
Put it in the bank.
I love old 1 for 6.
Put it in the bank.
He should get a new. He should change his number to 1 for 6, right?
Okay. You see how you talking? You talking bad about it.
All right.
And you see JB.
I'm talking facts about him.
And Derek White. You see old Derek White?
Oh, boy.
You used to love Derek White. I remember you say Derek White was on the cusp of being a star player.
He was. Well, he is a star.
I don't know about all
He
that.
was a great pickup for them, but he will not sustain. He will not repeat.
He'll do it.
Yeah.
He gonna do it.
Big spenders. I love the swagger, guys. Way to start the show this morning.
Yep.
Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Subscribe here to get the very latest from Skip and Shannon. Plus, go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.